Hey guys, so in yesterday's video, doing the second kind of part two deep dive into the booster boxes and top three, top five, and top 10 card values, and how the sets that have the highest values normally are the most expensive booster boxes, at least for the top 3 to 10 cards. And someone left me a comment, this one down here. I got 18 upvotes. You have to consider that 1 Point Fusion Strike's top three was only worth $300, but if you were smart, you would have looked at Gengar, Espeon, and Mew and realized these cards are all undervalued. So don't shrug off a set like Stellar Crown, Paradox Rift, or Temporal just because the top X hits are only worth Y dollars right now. And, you know, there is a tiny bit of merit to what this person is saying, which we'll get into in this video. But I do think this type of reasoning is largely misguided. And I kind of responded basically saying that, there is an issue with this because generally, all the cards in the market move together. It's very rare that we see cards from one set take off and the rest of the top cards in the era don't, and that's kind of what we're going to look at. But I will also towards the end of the video kind of talk about where this comment has a little bit of truth and why I think that you can spot things that are undervalued and potentially make a bit of gain. So we have another chart today. You guys have been liking the data driven approach, so to set this up, what we have over here is we have the top three cards currently from each alternate art set in Sword and Shield. Again, the reason we're doing Sword and Shield is because the era is done now. We can't really look at Scarlet Violet; it's too new. Could have done Sun and Moon, but I think Sword and Shield is just a good starting place. You could obviously go a lot deeper with this data. You could look at all top 10 cards, but it was a lot of research going back in time and finding all the data. So this took me a couple hours to put together. So this is all I'm going to do, but again, you could go deeper. It's probably going to tell you a fairly similar thing, and you're going to see that. So we have the top three cards currently from every alternate art set in Sword and Shield battle styles up to Silver Tempest. The names of the card obviously over here. I didn't, if it's Tyranitar V or Charizard V or whatever, I just called it that one. So three battle styles, and you have three Chilling Reign, Evolving Skies, Fusion, Brilliant Stars, Astral Radiance, Lost Origin, and then Silver Tempest over there. And then up here, we have dates, so April 11, 2022, April 11, 2023, April 11, 2024, and then today's date, January 28th, 2025. Now, why did I pick April 11th, 2022? Well, on this date, that is when the Fusion Strike top three cards was approximately $300, right? So, going back to this person's comment, where they said that one day the top three cards are worth about $300. So I figured it would be a good point to look at and take those numbers and look at all the other values of the top cards in the other sets on that same date and compare it to now and see how things have changed. So that's what we have. And you're going to have the prices for that date for every individual card over here. And then we have two tables over here. So you have the percent change from April 11th, 2022 until now. And then you have a table basically tracking the same thing except from 2023, April 11, 2023, a year later. And the reason for that is because Astral Radiance, Lost Origin, and Silver Tempest weren't out by April 11, 2022. So we basically just did another table with that data. And yeah, that's going to be the difference. Down here, you'll see percent change and stuff, which we'll get into towards the end of the video. So starting off, you had the Tyranitar, you have the Urshifu VMAX, and you have the Empoleon. Those are the top three cards from Battle Styles. And percent change since April 11, 2022. For the Tyranitar, it's up 153%. The Urshifu's up 12.5%, and the Empoleon is up 58.56%. Moving into Chilling Reign, we have the Blaziken, you have the Galarian Moltres, and you have the Shadow Rider Calyrex. And the Blaziken, let's look at some prices too. $322 approximately right now. And again, these prices, I forgot to mention this, these prices might be slightly off from TCG Player, the ones in this graph. I had to use Pokedata.io to go back and grab all of the historical information. There might be other sites that track it, but I use Pokedata. So the numbers might be off, a little bit, again, which, might affect these percentages at the end of the video a tiny, tiny bit, but it's not super important. It's not going to make a big difference, but I just figured I'd let you guys know that. So Blaziken up to 322. You can see the change up 219%, the Blaziken from April 11, 2022. The Moltres is up 84%, and the Shadow Rider Calyrex is up 38%. Moving on, we have the Evolving Skies card. So obviously the Umbreon, the Rayquaza, and the Leafeon are the top three cards. Leafeon's sitting around 380 right now. The Rayquaza is sitting around 635, and the Umbreon is up here over $1,700. So the percent move on this, the Umbreon's up 400% almost since April 11th, 2022. The Rayquaza is up 216%, and the Leafeon's up 191%. Now, we'll get into Fusion Strike in these three cards. So we have the Gengar, we have the Espeon VMAX, and you have the Mew VMAX. And when we look at these cards, the Gengar is up 553.6% since April 11th, 2022. That is the highest percentage movement of any of these cards. The Gengar is absolutely popping off right now. Insane growth, up over $700. Now, I wonder if there's even higher sales. Yeah, if you see it and you look at sales today, today is the 20th. Okay, all of these. So 794 something, 750, 812, 810, 794. So this is almost an $800 card. I mean, where's the roof for this card? Like, where is the ceiling? I don't know. Crazy growth. Anyways, so this might even be higher, right? And again, like the percentages could be a bit off, and you can argue that, but I'm just trying to get my point across to, kind of make sense for this video. The Espeon 160% again. Same thing with the Mew. And finally, I guess we'll look at Brilliant Stars just to finish off this one graph. So we have the Charizard V. We have the Umbreon VMAX, now the second highest card in Brilliant Stars. And that's overtaken Charizard V-Star, the Rainbow card, which is still the third highest, but not by much. The Umbreon V and the other Trainer Gallery card and the Sylveon VMAX, I believe, are pretty close behind it. But the percent change here, 5.89% up on the Charizard since April 11, 2022. The Umbreon's up 218.86%. And the Charizard V-Star is down negative 62.11%. Now, I did make a note here. Brilliant Stars released, I believe, in February of 2022. So it wasn't long after a release we're looking at this data. So these cards were still really elevated just because it was still early on in the set's lifespan. Which has probably reduced the prices a bit. And when we go look at the next chart over here for Brilliant Stars, you can see that a year later, up until now, the Charizard has moved up 23.72%, which is a bit more normal. The Umbreon's up 256%, and then the Charizard V-Star's only down 18.15%. So you can see in that year from 2022, April until April 2023, there were some large price differences and changes in the Brilliant Stars cards. But basically what this shows is if you take the average of all of these cards from April 11, 2022 until now, and you average it out, you get 160.58% return. But if you look at Fusion Strike, which is over here, the top three cards in this time period actually increased 291.54%. So the Fusion Strike cards actually did outperform the top three cards overall from all of the other alternate art sets. There is a bit we'll talk about in a second here, and I'll go a bit deeper into this. But first, I just wanted to jump in here and say 63.8% of you guys aren't subscribed to the channel. These are rolling averages and they change every day. But if you are getting some value of this content, I really appreciate it if you could subscribe. And again, sorry for asking every day, but asking actually surprisingly does help when I look at my analytics. So I figured I would just ask. And thank you guys for supporting the channel if you do decide to subscribe. Now, going into the next, I guess, percentage change when we look at 2023 until 2025. I'm not going to go back through all the cards, but you can see the Battle Styles ones here. The Tyranitar's up 81.9%. The Urshifu and the Empoleon are down a bit. The Blaziken's up 79% almost. Moltres up 18%. Shadow Rider's up. Again, this isn't like super important. I guess we'll just look at the newer sets because we haven't looked at them yet. So if we start at the Machamp, down here, the Machamp, the Starmie, and the Garchomp are the top three cards. The Garchomp has taken off a lot over the past couple months. This was a $30 card. It's now sitting almost $60 and probably sales higher, I'd imagine. Couple above $60, maybe even a couple around $65. So this card is definitely moving up. And you can see since April 11, 2023, the Machamp's up 23.11%. The Starmie is up 140.7%. And the Garchomp's up 129.5%. So some of these Trainer Gallery cards have really exploded since mid-2023. Next up, we have the Giratina from Lost Origin. Obviously, one of the big boys in Sword and Shield era, sitting around $610. The Aerodactyl, around $115. The Pikachu VMAX has obviously exploded as well, up from 40 into the 60s as of late. That is the third highest when we look at percentage gains. Giratina up almost 89%. The Aerodactyl's actually down 5.9%, and the Pikachu's up 50.2%. And then finally, we'll look at Silver Tempest. We have the Lugia right here, sitting around $282. This might push into the 300s. I don't see, well, a couple sales potentially down here. I know TCG players cutting off the graph, but that might push into the 300s soon. That'd be interesting to see. The Rayquaza has obviously seen a big move from 40 into the 80s, almost 100% turn there in the past couple months. And then the Lugia V-Star is actually the third highest card in the set right now, 3165. And when we look at percent change, the Lugia is up 58.49%. The Rayquaza is up 131.33, and the Lugia V-Star is down 15.82%. So again, if we take an average of all of these cards, the top three from all of those sets, comes out to 91.62%. But in the same time period, the Fusion Strike cards are up 175%. So again, Fusion Strike compared, the top three cards in Fusion Strike compared to all of the other top three cards averaged out, well outperformed the average. So that is, something on its own, which if you look at undervalued sets, and this is kind of where I think that this person is right in a sense, when you look at the values of these cards, you can say that some are potentially undervalued and go in on those sets. And that's kind of where you will make some gain, right? Like if you do think they're undervalued. But the reality is, if we look back to April 11th, 2022, right? Because again, the whole point of doing this data is for us to try and figure out which booster boxes are going to be the most expensive down the road, right? We want to figure out, based on the top 3, top 5, top 10 value, which booster boxes we should invest in and which ones we should get rid of. So if we go all the way back till April 2022 and you look at the top 3 values, the only thing that Fusion Strike was trailing at the time was Evolving Skies. And again, if you go another year ahead and you look at the top 3 value for Evolving Skies compared to Fusion Strike, it's still behind. And it's always been behind. So even though it's based on percentage wise outperformed the overall market and even outperformed Evolving Skies at the time, it was quite obvious back then if you looked at this data and applied the logic of top 3, top 5, top 10 value to which booster boxes are going to be the most expensive. Evolving Skies was the clear favorite that you should have picked, right? It was basically double the top 3 value compared to Fusion Strike. Likewise, Fusion Strike was already ahead of Chilling Reign. It was already ahead of Battle Styles by a lot. It was ahead, actually, was it ahead of Brilliant Stars? I don't think it was, but again, like these prices were falling. When you go a year ahead and you look at the prices then, after Brilliant Stars had some time, after it just came out for prices to stabilize, Fusion Strike was already ahead of Brilliant Stars in 2023. So again, based on the same logic that we're using, with these prices, it made sense that Fusion Strike was already better than Brilliant Stars. It was already better than Chilling Reign. It was definitely better than Battle Styles. So, when this guy is talking about, what sets does he point out? Stellar Crown, Paradox Rift, Temporal. Again, we're not in a conversation like we were in Sword and Shield where, Lost Origin could potentially be the number 2 set. Chilling Reign could potentially be the number 2 set. Fusion Strike could have potentially been the number 2 sets. Like a lot of people had differing opinions on which ones could be number 2 and number 3. Like it was really close. But no one was putting Battle Styles at number 2 or number 3, right? Battle Styles was way down there in everyone's list. Same thing for most people with Astral Radiance. And then a lot of the earlier sets like your Darkness Ablaze, your what else? Vivid Voltage, stuff like that. Like people were not saying that was going to be a top contending booster box. And, it's kind of the same thing with Stellar Crown and with Paradox Rift and Temporal Forces. And again, I don't know if this person's just talking about card prices, which, I guess that's a bit different than just the booster boxes, but they kind of go hand in hand, right? So I think based on, the data we looked at yesterday when it came to this SV sets, when you look at Paradox Rift, the top 3 cards is sub $200. Temporal Forces is only $220. What else did they say? Stellar Crown $231. That was top 4, but again, like you look at the top 3 value in Stellar Crown versus Twilight Masquerade, it's less than half, right? For Surging Sparks, it's almost a quarter of the price, or I don't know, like 40%, 35%, something like that. Math is difficult. Anyway, the point being, Stellar Crown, Paradox Rift, Temporal Forces, these sets are so far behind Twilight Masquerade, Surging Sparks, even Paldea Evolved, right? So I just don't think any of them are even ever going to get close to catching those booster boxes, and that's why it's not really, obviously some of those cards could be undervalued, but it's not a justification to say that those boxes are going to somehow come out of nowhere and catch up to something like Surging Sparks, like a Twilight Masquerade. Now, again, some of those cards could be undervalued, and if you're investing in the slabs, you're investing in singles, whatever, you can find things that are undervalued compared to the overall market that will outperform. For example, like the Gengar. Like that person was talking about, the Gengar has done the best percentage wise since April 11th, 2022, out of basically any of these altards. It's even done better than the Umbreon, right? 400% up is the Umbreon. Gengar's up 550, and it's probably closer to 600% if that's an $800 card now instead of 697. So yeah, I mean, in that aspect, like sure, it makes sense, but to apply it to the booster boxes, which kind of this video was all about, and again, like, I'm not trying to talk shit to this person because they bring up a good point. And I'm not sure if they were even trying to discuss it in terms of booster boxes and buying those in the future. But again, that's kind of the point I'm trying to make, guys. Is don't think just because you believe that the cards are undervalued that somehow a set's going to come out of nowhere and perform well. And again, like, you can do that. It is possible. It's theoretical. You could think something's undervalued, you buy it like the Gengar, and you do well, but that also takes a lot of skill. And in part, I believe actually is a bit lucky also. We tend to have a lot of biases about what we think is good and what is not good. And oftentimes we're wrong, right? So maybe you hit it big with something like the Gengar, but then you miss with something like the Charizard V Star, right? Or you miss with, I don't know, the Urshifu V Max or something, right? You think it's undervalued and it really just doesn't change at all over the next 2, 3 years. So again, that's why I invest in booster boxes and stuff like that, just because for me it's a lot easier. And it's basically a cheat code just to apply this logic to what you want to invest in the future. And we can already tell from a fairly early point which sets are going to stand out just based on the prices. And that's all I wanted to get at in the video. So hopefully that makes things a bit clearer and, clears the air a bit. But if you guys have anything that you agree or disagree with based on the data, definitely let me know in the comments down below. I'm always curious to hear what you guys think. And I think it's, good to have discussions and talk about things like that so we can all evolve as investors as well. Anyways, guys, this video is getting super long, so I'm going to end it here. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe wherever you are in the world, and I'll catch you in the next one.